Hello, and welcome to one of my first worlds, Atrocities. Um, Atrocity. Um, I was just kind of going around it for nostalgia purposes and remembering the days when I first started playing Minecraft and how wonderful it was and how much enjoyment I derived from the game when nothing else in life was enjoyable. Um, and I stumbled across I had forgotten that I had put all my old starship builds onto this map. I mean, they're all here, all my old ones. And since we just did the Defiant on mindtrek.net, I had to come look at this girl and just kind of remember that, you know, for all things there is a beginning. And I gotta admit, I mean, at the outside she looks pretty good. I mean, this is all hand built hull. It's not a 3D hull. I did this all by hand. Actually built it right here on this server. Um, this is the spot she was actually constructed on, and a lot of the rock that was used came out of here, and a bunch of quarries around the map. But yeah, this is I wouldn't say completely legit, but a build, but pretty darn close to it. I mean, the shipyards or the hangar bay area has most of my legit builds in it, with the exception there are a couple imports from later builds. But yeah, this is where I started building a Defiant. I built a lot of the decks off server and then used MC Edit to bring them in and then replace the materials with the stuff I quarried on this world, with the exception of some of the cotton. A lot of the cotton and stuff I just couldn't generate the amount of lapazuli I needed and the amount of cotton I needed for the build, but a significant portion of it came from the server. Most of the iron, I believe, did as well. It's been, shoot, good gosh, 3 years, I want to say, since I built this, or maybe even 4 years. 2011, 3 years. A good 3 years. Anywho, let's take a look at her. My first effort at redstone. How simple. Don't want any baddies getting in. As you can see, it's pretty basic Minecraft building here. Got ourselves a little. You'll hear them walking around, zombies and stuff. Um, I don't have mobs turned off on this. Little crawl spaces and stuff like that. It by no means is the new Defiant anything like this. The new Defiant is a serious step forward in design technique and building. This is engineering, one of the engineering levels. This is, of course, the warp core. I had so much fun when I was on building this. Now I look at this and it reminds me of like something of a 10th grader would make. But in all honesty, back then it was pretty darn good. I mean, nobody had done it before. I was the first to actually build a Defiant from the ground up, including the hull. Something I will not ever do again. I will always use 3D hulls. Uh, Anyways, because it provides such a large degree of control when it comes to fit and finish work and stuff. So, but yeah, these are all crew quarters and torpedo storage, and see what the old torpedoes look like. Well, there are none in here. Port nacelle. PS stands for port side. Deck 3, port side, obviously. There was a ladder over here. Where does this go? Oh, deck 4 emergency shuttle and stuff. Of course, there's no shuttle in here. It's the other side's open. We can go over there and look, but it's all open. You got your storage tanks and stuff in here. Like I said, I had a lot of fun building this, and I really, really would encourage people that want to learn builds and how to do things to absolutely start with something like this and see if you can build it. This is an aft torpedo launcher. You don't have to. I was working from very small deck plans, and when I got access to the much larger deck plans, I realized all the mistakes I had made. But overall, just working from, I think this is a deck plan and this is how I want to scale it and all that stuff to this was, a lot of fun to figure out, a lot of fun to do. This is, of course, the hanger. And as you can see in my current Defiant builds, the new hanger that Mad Squirrel and Heller developed is so much better. But since I had most of the history with the Defiant, um, there was a version that was on the Mindtrek server that used a 3D hull. It was a very good build for early on. I don't remember who was all involved with that. I had nothing to do with it, but I took a lot of inspiration after I had built mine that they were working on one, and I was fortunate enough to be invited over to see it as they were completing it. And they said they even used a little bit of some of the ideas that I had in mind for theirs, but I think they did a lot better job overall implementing it than I did. But they had better access to better plans. They had the actual full sheets, whereas I was working from minis, and they also, at the time, I now have the copies of the full versions. I purchased those on eBay of all places. Believe it or not, somebody was selling them on eBay, and I snagged them up for 20 bucks. Well, actually, I traded him a couple of Star Wars action figures worth about 20 bucks, so it was a trade-off. Ooh, we have an empty room here. In case anybody's interested, I still have a bunch of that old Star Wars stuff and Star Trek stuff. Let me know what you want, and I'll see if I have it. Now we're entering the Cobra, not the Cobra head, but the Warhead here. And of course, if you go on the Mindtrek server, you can see that Matt Squirrel had done such a beautiful job implementing that. But yeah, here's my little door to enter and exit the ship when she's docked. On the plans, these are the actual airlocks for the actual plans. But I couldn't do that, so I just decided to do this. And I thought I was pretty proud of that. A lot of this ship, believe it or not, when I was working on this, I was also working on the Mulan Lube server, building it as well on there. Well, not really building it per se, but refining it. And then coming over here and working on it here. Because at the time, they had features and stuff that I didn't have access to playing single player. Like, I could fly on their server, couldn't do it here. Because back then there were no mods. There were only mods that allow you to fly. Then later, when they updated Minecraft, you could fly and go into creative mode at will, and it was a lot of fun. So I enjoyed hanging out with the guys on the Mulan Loop server. Too bad it's no longer active. It's a shame. This is Sickbay. I think I did pretty good on getting the scaling right for the ship, because she is a very small ship. Yet when we built the one on Mindtrek, this area and that area would combine to make one area. So, yeah, guess I got the scaling wrong with this build. Little mess hall here. But when I was scaling it, I was looking at I think this was the size it was on the ship, and so I tried to maintain that aspect ratio, and I really tried my hardest to make everything look good and stuff, like even this transporter room and stuff. But as I walk around this, I'm sure with some effort somebody could easily come through here and redo this, replace the stone and flesh out all the details, replace all this old equipment with new stuff, because we're still using a lot of this design. It's just a little bit more layered and with a lot more options for blocks. But come down through here, I have no idea what this room is. Don't remember, but one of the things I did deliberately in this build, because again, same problem I ran into in the actual build on Mindtrek was when we scaled the decks, they would only fit if they're only too high, and that's where the talent of M. Heller came in. He says, "Oh no, you guys have the decks in the wrong places. These decks go here like this, and then this deck goes over here like this," and that gave us the correct scaling for 3 to 4 height. It actually gave us perfect scaling for height. So had I known that when I was doing this, I wouldn't have done it this way. I would have done it like that. But again, you live and you learn. And this was definitely one of those learning experiences. More crew quarters. No, this here would be the pressurization room on the current Defiant, I believe. Life support. Battery room. Look at these old batteries. You know what? It was inventive at the time. Nostalgia will always get you. Ooh, main engineering. Dun dun. I love Mad's engineering so much better than this one. He did such a wonderful job with that. And look at the primitives. And this is, I built this ship so that it wouldn't require texture packs, but if you were to load the texture pack in this, it would look so weird. I don't even think about loading the texture pack, because it would look really weird. Let's work our way forward here. I think it's... Oh, darn it. How the heck did you get out of here now? Darn it. I didn't put a door in. You know what? Time for a door. We now have a door. Ta-da! Innovation. Transporter, actually, better not have a door there. This is the transporter for, they use to beam people up mainly, and then of course the captain's little dinky quarters, and God only knows whose. And then the main bridge is right around here. And there we are, the main bridge. Yep. Trip down nostalgia row here. A lot of fun, I gotta say. A lot of fun building this ship. Yeah, of course, some things are different on this ship than are on the deck plans because they just didn't make any sense when I was looking at them through a microscope. But, Jeffrey's tube access and stuff. I thought this was kind of innovative, but again, is what it is. This is, single player. It's not on a server, so I don't have a lot of the access to a lot of the, build features that we do have on the server. Got my little. This is one of the rare corridors or levels that's actually 3 high. But trying to remember how to. Oh, it's up here. We go up here, then we go down. If I remember right. Yep, here's the lift access again. I really fear going through and looking at some of my other builds. Missile that I built. The Constitution and all those older ones, because yeah, those two were all hand built from ground up. I look at the new Constitution that I did on the Mindtrek server, and it is so much better than you learn. This is one of the processes of learning as you do, and once you learn, you go on, you refine, and you improve your techniques and everything else. And yeah, I lived here. There should be a bed around here somewhere, unless I took it for something else. I probably took it for something else, but I used to sleep in here. This is how I used to get into the ship. I had a little stairwell coming up here and stuff, but yeah, well, there's the Defiant version, alpha version, beta, alpha version, pre-alpha 1. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Have a great day.